The automatic braking system is one of the most important new standards that could be issued. It's going to save a lot of lives. It's going to reduce a lot of property damage. And we think that it's the most important thing to focus on now. Unfortunately, the Obama administration has a long list of unreviewed safety standards from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration pending, and they're not moving. And we're just furious about that. And that's one of the reasons that I think that NHTSA has opted to try and move these standards along by having a voluntary standard first. But we think that that could undermine the likelihood of a federal standard. We want to see a federal standard that applies to every maker, is enforceable, and that the public can have at the earliest possible date. Well, voluntary standards are like a New Year's resolution. They're just great, but they have no punch, and they can disappear in a moment because any automaker can decide that they're just not going to comply, and there's no enforcement. A regulation is something that every automaker has to comply with. It's a more open process because consumers and anybody else in the world can participate in a public rulemaking, and they're enforceable. So if a manufacturer decides not to comply, they have to pay a penalty and recall the car. The automakers have to be in the room because they're the ones who are going to be making the systems for these brakes that will stop the car automatically. So they should be there, but so should everybody else. And that's what our concerns are. There's some manufacturers that are doing a great job. They're working really hard to put these automatic braking systems in place. And there are others that are real laggards. And that's why we think there needs to be a minimum bottom line, a basic federal safety standard. I think that the crash testing program, which rates the cars with stars, does have an impact. And by putting the automatic braking in there as one of the criteria, I think it is going to influence some manufacturers to put those systems in sooner. So it's really a combination of the crash testing public information program, the voluntary effort, and then a federal minimum safety standard. And we compliment NHTSA and Mark Rosekind on doing this and pushing this in all fronts. But we're just concerned that if it just relies on a voluntary safety standard, then the auto companies are going to walk away from it at some point.